Every Christian needs to watch pornography. If you're watching this video because you're afraid of pornography, you need to go turn it on and go masturbate to it. That's what you need to do. I'm going to tell you truths in this video, and just plain simple truth. Porn, it's not going to kill your spirit, but lying will. You lie all the time about this. Let me tell you what you're going to do, okay? You're going to get scared because these old men are going to tell you not to watch porn, and that he spilled it on the ground and God killed him. Ugh. And this is going to be real scary and a really touchy subject to you, because you know in your heart and the truth that it is impossible for you to not want to do that or wind up failing in doing such a thing. You're going to think that you overcame it, right? You're going to think that you overcame this lust for a minute, because you're going to start praying, and then it's going to be called being prayed up, and you're going to fast, and then you're going to make a video and say how I overcame pornography. And you're going to say pornography in a way that makes people think that you really don't know what it is, like the old men. Kids out there these days watching pornography. Dude, call it porn, you know exactly what it is, you liar. But you don't want to be a liar, because your flesh, sex is something for the flesh. It's going to die, no matter what you do. Jack off, don't jack off. You're going to die. Your flesh will die. Doesn't mean that your spirit has to die, but if you are a liar, your spirit will die. Listen to what David said. Right, David. Now, David's mother was an Israelite who married an Israelite who had sex, and she was most likely a virgin except for this man, and had David. David was born. David pleading with the Lord afterwards. See, they were the best they could have been. Virgin marries a virgin, has sex, has David, and they were Israelite, right? But David pleading with the Lord about his sins. David was a man after God's own heart. He understood God. Whenever he was pleading with him, he said, "Forgive me, Lord, for I am shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me." Now, how can that be that his mother conceived him in sin? How? Because even sex in a perfect virgin relationship is sin. According to David, virgin, sex, David. In sin did my mother conceive me. But I know you, Lord. This is what he said. But I know you, that you desire the truth on the inward parts. The inward parts. It was better for David to tell the truth than to lie. Alright, you've got a story about this man after God's own heart. He's lusting on a rooftop in his palace, looking down at her bathing. You know what he was doing? Alright, in church they'll tell you he lusted. You know what he was doing? Most likely he was masturbating. Definitely had a boner. And if he wasn't masturbating at that moment, he was whenever he got back to his palace. Old men telling all of you guys and making you hate your life, it rejects Jesus Christ. Did God make it to where you don't produce sperm anymore? Did he make it to where your body lives forever? No, he sent Christ. These things should not bother you. This is why the Bible is so bad. Alright, you are living a life of absolute turmoil and lying constantly. They're making you a liar. Alright? Christ covered your flesh, the whole world's flesh. Porn doesn't matter. Sex doesn't matter. You're forgiven for that. All flesh is. Your flesh cannot live forever. Alright? What you're going to do is think that you overcame it for a minute. And then you're going to become a liar. You're going to make a YouTube video, and you're going to say, how I overcame porn. How I don't touch myself anymore. But then, after that month that you might have made it, you're going to start rolling around because your body's still producing the sperm, buddy. It's still producing it. You weren't delivered from it. You're going to start rolling around on the bed in the morning and go, oh, God help me. God, please. Please, I don't want to touch myself. God, please. And you're going to be like, oh, I can't. Oh. And then eventually, maybe not that day, but within the next few days, you're going to touch yourself. And what you're going to do is jack off. And when you do, It's going to be so intense. It's like playing a little game with yourself. Let's tell myself how bad sex is. Then whenever you get off, it's super intense. Whenever it's something you shouldn't be doing or you think you shouldn't be doing, it just makes it that more intense. It's like you're just playing a game at that point. Alright, now I'm going to quit again. Why? So it'll feel so much better the next time? You know, porn stars, women, they have to use lubricant. Why? Because sex is nothing to them. They have sex all the time. It's nothing to them. It doesn't make their heart good or bad. Neither. It didn't make David's heart bad. It doesn't make their heart good or bad. But since they have sex all the time, it's nothing to them. It doesn't mean anything. They can love you and sleep with you. They can be your friend and sleep with you. And someone else. But you get a church girl. Their whole life, you know, they were dressed this way. Everybody told them how bad sex was, and they kept putting all their focus on that area. This is so bad, this is so bad, this is so bad, this is so bad. You can't overcome your own life. You were born from sex. You were shapen in iniquity. You were born from sex. You can only do what you're going to do. But since they told these church girls, you want some real sex? You want the girl to be super horny? Go find someone who was taught how bad sex was. They don't need lubricant. All you gotta do is look at them a certain way and they're like, that's it. You know? So that's some good sex. You want the good sex, go find somebody who thinks sex is bad. You know? Then you're gonna get some intense pleasure going on there. Jesus was born of a virgin. He could not redeem your flesh. God did not get you to stop producing sperm. What he did was cover all of people's flesh. Sex does not matter, but lying does. David knew it. You should know it. You were trying to live in the old covenant before Christ returned, before he delivered the kingdoms back to God, and before he overcame the curse. You are no longer judged by a curse of Adam. Back then, they were judged by the curse of Adam. There is no point in Christ coming if you cannot masturbate. What the hell was the point in Christ if you can't even do the thing that you were born of and get away with it? And it's also going to make you a liar in all points of your life. You're going to tell people you overcame it, and then you're going to do it again. But then preachers are going to tell you like they told me. 4 different preachers in my life have said, well, this is what happens, Derek. Once you ask for forgiveness, God removes it from you as far as the east is to the west. And he no longer remembers it. So if somebody asks you, have you done this? You say no. Because God doesn't remember it, so you shouldn't remember it either. And I've even had child molester preachers tell me this. So it never happened. And if somebody asks you, you can say no, because God doesn't remember it. And if you bring it back up, that's a sin. These preachers produce sperm. Priests who try not to have sex, they wind up with a little boy in their fucking chambers saying, oh, my nuts hurt. Just rub it for a second. It's disgusting, right? You are in complete turmoil and a liar. You're going to lie to your girlfriend constantly. You're going to lie to everybody around you. And they're going to lie to you. And you're both going to know that the other person's lying. She's going to say, because she knows it's bad in church, right? Did you look at that girl? Did you lust after her? You're going to be like, no. I only have eyes for you. You're the only person that I could lust after. She's going to know that you're lying. Even though she's going to say, okay, good. And you're going to say the same thing to her. You're going to see some buff dude walking around and be like, and he's hot. And you know he's hot, right? You know he's hotter than you. And you're going to be like, were you looking at him? No. No, baby. I only have eyes for you. You're the one that God gave me. You're the most attractive person in the whole entire world out of over 3.5 billion men. There is not a man out there more attractive than you. And you're both going to be lying to each other, and you're going to know that you're liars. If you cannot tell the truth about sex, you can't tell the truth now. And these old men telling kids this stuff, alright? It's ridiculous. I don't mean kids like, you know, I'm just saying for them, young people. Old men telling young people who have testosterone raging and hormones and everything else. You know, and their seed wants to be spread and produced to keep humanity going. These guys had to sneak around, probably got in a different car, and go to the only place in town with blacked out windows and park around back and go in and hurry up, give me a porn. And then they had to hide it somewhere. Probably removed a board from their floor and put it under there. They had to hide it, you know? They tell you not to do it. These guys were masturbating to newspaper articles, you know? Because you can't stop it. You were forgiven for it. It was covered. Your flesh was not redeemed. And then they tell you not to do it whenever you're walking around with porn at your fingertips constantly. You know? More people on the earth. Hot people walking around. Unless you can stop yourself from getting a boner ever for the rest of your life, don't lie and say that you've overcome something. You would have to overcome life. You would have to live forever in this flesh, and every single person that tells you they don't get turned on and they don't watch porn and they don't do anything like that, they're lying to you. Every person. I've sat down with preachers and had them tell me they're little out in this. Alright? You can't overcome it, but what you can start doing is telling the truth today. And this is where you start telling the truth for real. We are born of sex. We can only do what we're born in. Start telling the truth today. Tell it to your girlfriend. If you want to live forever in the Spirit, tell them the truth. Say, look, I do only want to be with you. You're the person. We've made this deal together, and I want to be with you. Alright? I cannot help it that I get turned on by other people. She's not going to like that. But she's going to love it. She's going to act. Because she's a liar too. She's been taught to be a liar. She's going to act like she's mad at you. But deep down, she's going to love you for that because she knows that she's lusting after other people. Did you hear what I just said? Can you abide your girlfriend telling you the truth? Or does your whole life revolve around this? You were born in sex. If you think you could overcome sex, then you can live forever. Jesus couldn't. What do you mean Jesus couldn't overcome sex? He was born of a virgin. Every person of God that was ever born in sex died and did not raise back from the dead in the flesh. The only person who could had to be born of a virgin. Were you born of a virgin? No. Were you the sacrifice of God that cleansed all flesh? No. Stop trying to live in the old days. Watch my other videos on how Christianity ended. Jesus Christ was the best thing that ever happened in this world. But you are rejecting him by thinking it's somehow so evil to see a naked person. It makes you a liar in all aspects of your life. And all of these people are lying. All of them. Alright, if you try to get everything out of your house, make sure you don't see anybody. Alright? You know, a little newspaper clip of a girl's face could blow in to your house outside, you know, or even just your imagination, and you'll be able to masturbate to anything at that point. Because God did not redeem your flesh. Stop rejecting Jesus Christ by saying that you have to be somehow perfect in the flesh. You're not going to live forever. Okay? Go turn this video off. Go watch some porn. Stop being afraid. I want to put some fear into you, actually. You ready? Let me reverse this fear. Will your flesh live forever? I hate these men doing this to you. That's why I'm talking like this. Will your flesh live forever? Will the person's flesh who told you porn was so bad, will their flesh live forever? No. So what does that mean? Anything with sin dies. So that means they're lying to you. You guys are the same flesh, and regardless of if they masturbate and you don't, which they do, and if they don't, they're going to have a wet dream. You know, this stuff has to get out. So you're going to be in complete turmoil and fighting this all the time because you reject Jesus. They all die. Every one of these men have died, will die. Their flesh is going to die. But let me scare you in another way. If you don't start telling the truth with your heart, your spirit's going to die. Your flesh is going to die anyway. But would you like for your spirit to live forever? Then be like David. I'm sorry, Lord, I was shapen in iniquity and in sin, and my mother conceived me. But I know you. You want the truth on the inward parts. God has never changed. Whenever Christ came, He redeemed, He fulfilled, He covered all flesh. But some people were lost and some people were saved. How's that? Because it was their heart that mattered, not their flesh. Start telling the absolute truth. Alright? And then you can come to real revelations of God. If you can't tell the truth in the little aspects of your life, you are a liar. You've set yourself up for lying then. There's no way that you can see the truth in the bigger picture. Do not let anybody, because they're lying and their flesh is going to die and rot. Don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong for watching porn. Don't let anybody make you feel bad. They're going to die too. You know what that means? That means their flesh isn't perfect either. They were born the same way you were born, in sex, and all of them masturbated. All of them. But God's removed that, so they never have to bring that up again. No, I don't do that. Well, of course you don't do it now, you're 80. So what, you just gotta live to be 80 to overcome this stuff? Sorry, I'm impotent. Don't let anybody judge you for porn. Sex is what made Adam and Eve fall in the first place. Everybody died after that until somebody was born of a virgin. Their perfect blood ran on the earth. And now you're no longer bound by the sin of Adam. It is not sex and what you eat and what you wear and what you watch and what you don't watch and what you drink and all this stuff. None of that matters in the sight of God whatsoever. What does matter is if you lie. If you're a liar, you're gonna be a liar, deceiver, manipulator, molester, thief, murderer, rapist. These things are sins. Lying is such a bigger sin than watching porn. Watching porn is honest. And it's also accepting what Christ did. Lying, God's never going to stand for it. He's never going to enjoy lying. He's never going to be fine with it. And if you stayed to this part of the video, let me tell you something. This is where all truth in the world starts for you. If you can't tell the truth about what you're born of, and I hope that you can just somehow understand this with your heart. If you can't tell the truth about sex, then you will not be able to tell the truth about anything else. Because it is what you are born of. Tell the absolute truth. Go watch some porn. Go watch porn and don't be afraid of it. You're gonna do it anyway.